From fighting the pandemic to fighting for her job, Parliament dissolved in the middle of a pandemic as the Queensland Premier begins her 3-week election campaign. First stop, North Queensland, traditionally an LNP heartland. Both Premier Palaszczuk and Opposition Leader Deb Frecklington eyeing off seats in the state's north, particularly the key battleground of Townsville.
In Queensland, there is a much larger population base outside the capital city of Brisbane.
Coronavirus crime construction dominating the first week on the campaign trail. Anastasia Palaszczuk this week promising 2,000 extra police and pledging $1 billion to upgrade schools. While the Premier's tough border stance was widely criticised by New South Wales leaders on Thursday.
I'm over it, and I've got to say I think Premier Palaszczuk is being political, she is being cruel. It's time that this pettiness was put aside and we move forward.
It was lauded by locals who say it's allowed the economy to avoid long lockdowns.
She kept the borders closed when everyone's up against her, and she wouldn't back down, and that's what I like about her.
Her management of the health crisis, the centrepiece of the Labor campaign. Enter LNP leader and 49-year-old mum of 3, Deb Frecklington. This the first election in Queensland history where 2 women are vying to be Premier. She's promised to cut land tax, but also promises to lift Queensland out of a recession with
the economic plan to get Queensland working again.
Pledging big budget infrastructure projects, including widening the Bruce Highway and upgrading multiple roads around Queensland, and a $20 million plan to make Cairns the ship capital of North Queensland. Deb Frecklington has also promised to return a budget surplus by 2024. Billed as the most crucial election in Queensland history, deciding who will lead the state out of a COVID-induced recession. But what does this mean for the Queensland-New South Wales border? Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk remains resolute there must be 28 days of no community transmission in New South Wales. Opposition leader Deb Frecklington, however, has called for the border to reopen 63 times. The latest YouGov poll puts Labor ahead of the LNP with a 4% lead. The fate of an entire state riding on this election. Connor Alforque, 6 News.